So I have this gnome, and I printed it and it failed. It failed underneath the blade here. The handle itself was too weak and it broke down here. So I'm going to do a modifier, and a lot of people don't know about these modifiers, so I want to do a video on it. So I'm going to add a modifier here. Let me get my mouse up here a little higher so you can see this. So we're going to go down here to add modifier, and I'm going to make this one a cylinder. Okay, now this will work in Bamboo Studio. It'll work, this is Elegoo Slicer here. It'll work in Creality. Now I want to resize this. Well, I want to change positions because I want to put them up through here like this. And let's get them moved over to where he makes sense. So he's going to end up being around there, but he's too big around. So let's resize him. And we want to make him somewhere like that, and somewhere like, it's going to move to the center here, like something like that. We don't need him too big. Okay, so now we have that modifier right there, and he's not, oh, the handle goes off at an angle, so we got to make him a little bigger. So let's do that to him, something like that. You know, just for giggles, let's bring them up through the top of the through that part of the axe, so we don't have a weak spot in the axe. Okay, so this is our modifier. And what we can do in this modifier is we can change the infill. So how we do that is over here on the left. Move this up a little bit. Windows, stop it. So over here on the left, I have, here's the model, see it highlighted? The next one, if you click on the generic cylinder that says default here, it highlights this, okay? If I turn this off, it'll highlight the whole thing. And then down here, we got some settings. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to strength. Now I can change how many wall loops through it. So I'm gonna make the whole thing 3, so I'm not gonna change that. But what I do want is through this area here, I want to go to, let's go 100%. 100% infill. If I hit tab, I'm already at rectilinear. And you have to have this at rectilinear whenever you do 100% infill. Okay, so now what happens is if I go up to global, my normal settings, oops, and then we're going to go to strength. I'm going to make it 3 walls. I'm going to make it a 12%. And we're going to make it support cubic. I've been digging support cubic lately. And then we're going to run normal speed. Now support, if I go treat auto, I had a lot of problems with some things not getting supported. The bottom of the hand, just recenter again, sorry. The bottom of the hand here didn't support well. The bottom of the axe, the bottom of this hand didn't support well, and also the tip. So we're going to change our tree from normal grid to, let's go hybrid and see what it looks like. So we're going to just slice it here and see what that looks like. And then I'm going to show you what the infill looks like through here. Okay, we have a nice thing on the tip here. Looks like the hand's fully supported. Looks like his booty's supported. Okay, so we're going to try that setting. Now I could go through and yeah, does all this need to be supported? No, but I want to do it because I had problems before. Okay, so now I slice this thing. I want to show you this. So if I go down through here and pull my slider down, you see the infill in here, the pattern. Okay, this is support cubic. So it puts where it needs support, it puts a little heavier than it does where it doesn't. But if you look here in the axe, right here, okay, we got support cubic going on. If we keep going down, it goes to that one right there. Look at that. That's 100% infill. And so now the handle is 100% infill, and then even the hand there where I have that cylinder is 100% infill through that whole feature. So anytime you have something that may be a little weaker than it should be, let's say this horn kept breaking, you can put a modifier on that horn to change how that looks. Now, the other thing I didn't like is the top of the model here. If you look, it looks pretty rough. Okay, now I don't know about you guys, if you've played with adaptive layer height, because normally what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to go here, and you're supposed to go here and click on adaptive layer height, and you can smooth this out. But I've had nothing but problems doing that. Nothing but problems. So here's another trick using a modifier that you might like better. Now, with a cylinder or shape modifier, you can't change layer heights. Okay? With a shape modifier, the layer heights are what they are because it can't do one layer height here and one layer height here. Okay? So, if I click on this, get out of my command here. If I click on this and add modifier, but I'm going to add, instead of a modifier, I'm going to go down a little farther here to height range modifier. And then I'm going to click on it here. Okay, and it's over on the left. Now, there it is. Now, this is a little bit more manual this time, so we're going to have to figure out where we want to go. So this thing is 80 millimeters tall. So we want the top to be 85. And we want the bottom to be, I don't know, 80? Oh, it's 80, duh. 75? So 75 to 85. Okay, so the dome that has a rough surface now is above this one and below that one. Okay, so now what I can do is in this range modifier, I can go to my quality tab over here on the left. I can go to my layer height and make it 0.12. So then everything in this range, when it gets to this layer height, it's going to switch from a 0.2 to a 0.12. So I'm going to run this model and I'll show you the results. So it did 100% infill, but my support was still too tight. So I need to increase the top Z distance on my support so that it's not so tight and the support comes off and not hurt the model itself. So I need to fix that for this. That's why this broke again. But here's the thing I want to show is that look at the top of this. Okay. Now look at the top of this one. So this one I didn't change, that I didn't modify the height. This one I did. And you can kind of see the change right about there if you look for it under the right light. But if you're not really paying attention, you kind of don't see it. You really can see that. Now, I've tried adaptive layer heights, and I haven't had the success I've had by changing the actual layer myself to a 0.12 for a small section. And then also that is, the handle is 100% infill, if I can get to focus here properly. So it did do that as well. It's just that my supports were way too tight and just sticking way too much, and the plastic can't handle it.